Welcome.
Are you sure?
I don't know, sure, why not? I know why you clicked this video. In fact, I have a pretty good idea of who you are. You are a man, probably in some Western speaking country, and you probably speak English. And for whatever reason, you really, really, really want to date and or marry a Japanese woman. And today, I'm gonna lay out the blueprints. I'm gonna lay out the plans on how you're going to be able to do just that. So if you listen to me, I'll teach you the secrets today. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to go as far as saying like, if you follow these 5 steps, then you too guaranteed will have a sexy evening with a Japanese woman. Okay, gag me. Okay, it's not gonna be like that, but I will teach you everything that you need to know. But before we do that, I want to talk about, do you really, really, really want to date and or marry a Japanese woman? Are you so sure? Are you hell-bent on being with a Japanese woman? Now, hell-bent is slang for like, you're completely laser focused. You are completely dedicated to the idea of being with a Japanese woman. Now, I don't think it's healthy to be hell-bent on being with a Japanese woman. You shouldn't care that much where your woman comes from. Now, I do understand there are some reasons why you may want to be with a Japanese woman, but hell-bent, 100%, it must be this way. I don't think so. But today I'm going to teach the Japanese viewers at home, if we have any today, some slang. The slang is cooked. Cooked, the past tense of cook. Okay.
What's the meaning?
The meaning is, if you were to, it means you cooked it, and I think it means like you cooked it till it's done.
Oh.
In fact, you cooked it until it's maybe too done. Let's say you had a steak. And me personally, I like my steak medium rare. I feel like most people like at least some pink in their steak. Otherwise, they're some kind of a monster. But let's say you took a steak and you cooked it well past that. Like this thing is charred. Okay, you might be able to say that it's cooked. Or if you had a car and you got in a bad accident and the front end of that car is completely smashed in, like it's bad, it's a bad wreck, and you're sitting there, you're looking at it, you might be able to look at that car and be like, this car is cooked. Okay, now people are saying now that dating and marriage in America is cooked. It's past the point of repair. It's past the ability to recover or fix it. So I can understand why some people may be looking to other countries, women from other countries, in order to find a lovely wife. That being said, just because a woman is from Japan does not necessarily mean that she's going to be the perfect wife. Don't believe that Japan is some magical land where all of the women are perfect, magical little angels. They'll be the perfect little wife for you. Okay? There's all sorts of different types of Japanese women that you don't want to date, that you don't want to marry. In fact, I dare say that there's a lot of Japanese women who are complete and utter nightmares. Run for your life. Run for your life. I guarantee you right now, there's tons of Japanese men that if you told them, there's tons of guys in America who think that Japanese women are the perfect women for marriage. There'll be some married guy from Japan that'll be like, you can have her. I'll ship her off to you. Okay. Now, maybe I'm being a little harsh. Okay. But I just feel like this whole subject needs a little balance. Okay. Just because she's from Japan doesn't mean she's going to be perfect. There's far from it. There will be some Japanese women who will make great wives, but there's also some American women who would make some great wives. I personally think the percentage of women in Japan, there's a higher percentage that would make a good wife than in America, but you can find great wives everywhere. But we're not here to talk about that, even though I just spent the last 5 minutes talking about it. We're not here to talk about that. We're going to just start from the premise you are hell-bent on dating and or marrying a Japanese woman, and how can we make that happen? Okay? Nuance be damned. So today we're going to cover just that. But before I go any further, hello! My name is Ted, and this is my beautiful wife, Usa.
Hey.
She is from the countryside of Japan, and I'm from America. And welcome to Culture Butter, where East and West melts. So, if you are a male at home who's looking to be with a Japanese woman, okay, this is going to take planning. This is going to take pre-planning. This is going to take years of planning. Now, you're the one that just has to have a Japanese woman. You're the one that decided that you must have a Japanese woman. And so if you must have a Japanese woman, you're going to need to put years of your life into that effort. Now, if you do that, you will have a Japanese woman. I can almost guarantee you, if you put years of effort into this, you can date a Japanese woman. You might even be able to marry a Japanese woman. So, before we go on, let's lay out the foundation. Now, the first thing and the most obvious thing is you need to learn Japanese. If you think that you'll be able to get a Japanese woman, you might be able to, okay? But if you learn no Japanese, the pool of available women that will be available to you is going to be this big. Okay? Because even though the Japanese, they learn English in school for many years, their English is still not very good. And they're very not confident in their English abilities. Right? So even if they know a little bit, they're going to be really shy to use it. Okay? So if you know no Japanese, the pool of available Japanese women who will be able to seriously date you will be this big. If you know zero. If you know some Japanese, it goes up. Because Japanese women will respect the fact that you tried at all. A little bit of Japanese is better than no Japanese. Okay, if for no other reason than they are flattered that you put in the effort. Okay, but gentlemen, you are hell-bent on getting a Japanese woman. So you're going to learn all the Japanese. Okay? So you're going to go get the Rosetta Stone. And you're going to go get the oh gosh, what's that language app that everyone uses? Duolingo. Okay, Rosetta Stone. Okay? Get it somehow. I don't care how you have to get it. Duolingo. Get on it. Anything else? Books, YouTube videos, while you're studying through other methods, you're also going to, there's apps just for getting language exchange students. Like there's Japanese people who are trying to learn English, and there's English-speaking people trying to learn Japanese. There's apps just for matching you two up so you can practice. Okay? Jump on that. Get some books. Okay, I can keep on going down the list. There's a million different ways. You can also listen to a lot of Japanese music. You can listen to a lot of, you can watch a lot of anime, which I know you weeaboos who are watching this video are already doing. You can watch a lot of Japanese movies. You can immerse yourself in Japanese. Whatever you have to do. If you want a Japanese woman, you need to get on it, and you need to learn Japanese. And it needs to be like almost one of your sole focuses. Hours of your life every day. 1 to 2 hours at least. How bad do you want this Japanese woman? You're going to put in the work. 4 years. What do you think?
私が思うにでも日本語を学ぶってすごく難しいことだと思うんだけど、めちゃくちゃハードルが高いと思うんだよね。日本語話者ですら英語を勉強するのにものすごく時間がかかるのは、なんていうか文章の並びが違うから、文の作りが全く完璧に違うからこそ難しいのであって、 英語話者が日本語を学ぶってなると、さらに漢字も入ってくるし、カタカナもあるし、もっと難しいと思うんだよね。それってものすごく長い道のりになりそうじゃない？めちゃくちゃ時間かかるじゃん。もし、もう今すぐにでも結婚したいって時にそんな悠長に日本語勉強しててどんぐらい時間かけんだよって思われると思うよ。でも確かに日本語を勉強することはもちろん一番の近道ではあるけど、日本人とどうしても結婚したいっていうこだわりがあるなら、それはね、日本語を絶対に勉強するべきっていう意見にはまあそうだねとは言う。一番近道だから。日本語を喋れなかったらやっぱりその分ね、その付き合う女性の幅が狭まってしまうから、ものすごく難易度がとても上がってしまうと思うけど、まあでも日本語を学ぶってものすごく根気と努力が必要だと思うけどね。
I believe Mount Everest is the highest mountain on the planet. People have climbed it. If you want a Japanese woman, you will not make excuses. If that's what you really want, if that's what you really, really want, and the mere fact if you're not willing to do the work means you don't want it. So how bad do you want it? If you want to tell me, oh, more than anything, it's like, then you will learn Japanese and you won't tell me it can't be done and you won't make excuses. You will live and eat and breathe Nihon every day until it's done. You either want a Japanese wife or you want to date a Japanese woman or you don't. And if you do, you'll do the work. Now, here's the deal. Many of these things on this list that I'm laying out today, I didn't do. And I didn't live up to this list that I'm about to lay out. My Japanese is Nihon Jozu desu ne.
Nihon Jozu.
Right? Okay. My Japanese skills is pretty pathetic. And there's going to be many other things on this list that I'm going to lay out that I do not live up to. So I might seem like a hypocrite, but here's the deal. When I was started to date her, I was not hell-bent on dating a Japanese woman. Okay? I didn't care. In fact, I didn't even care if I dated anybody. I was treating dating as like, I'll do this dating thing and see how it turns out. But she was so magical, I had no choice but to keep on dating her. Okay? So I got lucky. I got extremely lucky. You don't want to depend on luck. You want to stack the odds in your favor. You want to stacking the odds means just like you don't want to depend on luck. You want to like just make the odds so high that it's almost guaranteed to happen. Okay, so we're going to keep on going through the list. Okay, because there's some weeaboos out there, or there's some men of culture out there that want to know how to date a Japanese woman. So up next, you're going to get into shape. If you're not in good shape, if you're fat, you're going to lose weight. Now, on average, Japanese women like fit men who are not too bulky. They're not too muscular, but they are skinny. So skinny with some good muscle definition, but not bodybuilder level. Right?
そうだね。やっぱり日本の女性は最近ますますルッキズムが激しくなってきているので、昔よりももっと外見気にしてると思う。んで、やっぱり昔からモテる男性っていうのは背が高くて少しがっしりしていて、でもアメリカ人のもうがっしりレベルじゃなくて普通体型だと言えばいいかな。なんだろう。やっぱ細身がみんな好きだと思う。細身の身長の高い目が大きな男性。目が大きくて鼻の高い男性。顔の小さい男性。日本の美醜ってちょっと変わってて、なんていうか小顔で目が大きくて二重で顔が小さい。そんな男性、女性もだけど、そんな人間が魅力的だと思われていて、それで、だからこそなんというか、 アメリカ人や西洋人ってまさにそれに当てはまる人種だから、ものすごく日本人からしたらモテるんだけど、でもやっぱり太っているってなったらそれが結構台無しになってしまうので、もしモテたいと思うんだったら体型気にした方がいいし、自分がこの人だと思う女性を見つける確率も上がるんじゃないかなとは思う。
So, unfortunately, you said that Japanese women, this is true of women across the globe, they like tall men. Now, Americans are, on average, although this is starting to change a little bit, at least a little bit taller on average than Japanese men. So, American men or Western men, you have that to your advantage, but some of us are short and there's nothing you can do about it. So don't worry about that part. You can't make yourself magically grow taller. There's no magic growing tall pills. So you're just going to have to focus in on everything else. You can't change that, so change the things that you can. So next thing is you said that double eyelid is very popular right now. Now, Western men already naturally have that.
Yeah.
So you already got that in the bag. You don't have to get plastic surgery in order to get that. So that's fantastic news. About the only thing you really have to do is make yourself a little bit, make yourself thin with a low body fat percentage and a little bit of muscle definition, but nothing too big. Now, you might say, but that's a lot of work. If you got the opinion that's too much work, you don't really want it, okay? If you really want a Japanese woman, then you will spend 1 to 2 hours every day learning Japanese, and you will spend 1 to 2 hours at the gym. It's that simple. Do you want it or do you not want it? Okay, if you want it, you're going to get out and you're going to go get it. Okay, so up next is hair. Now, once again, okay, my Japanese isn't that good. I'm fat, and guess what? I'm balding. Nothing I can do about that. Really, debatable, right? Japanese women love good hair on men. So, if you're balding, you might have to take steps to make yourself not balding. Focus heavily on having nice, healthy hair. Use a lot of hair product to keep your hair healthy. If you need to use different products to make yourself not go bald, once again, how bad do you want it? You might have to go as far as getting hair transplants. Up to you if you want to go that route. Okay, but Japanese women love good hair. What kind of hair would you say that Japanese women are looking for the most?
やっぱり日本人女性から人気なのは、もちろん髪が豊かな男性なんだけど、もう残念ながら。まあ、その中で、アメリカや東洋から来た人って限定すると、もちろんやっぱ日本人にはないブロンドヘアはとても人気。もうそれを見せつけるように歩いてください。それと、あとは、今ね、髪型で言えば、センター分けがすごく人気だから。日本では。日本は今ちょっと韓国アイドルブームがあるから、その影響でちょっと日本人男性で流行りの髪型っていうのがあって、それがセンター分けなんだけど、まあ要は韓国アイドルみたいな髪型してればめっちゃモテます。多分。わかんない。偏見かもしんない。でも、ぶっちゃけ、まあ、どうだろう、世代の違いもあるかもしれないけど、その人に似合う髪型が一番だと思うけどね。でも日本人おしゃれ好きなんで、日本に行ってからでいいんで髪型こだわった方がいいかもしれないです。アメリカ人はね、髪の毛いじったら、ゲイっぽくなるって思われるって思っちゃうかもしれないけど、そんなことないので、安心して髪の毛いじってください。
Yes, I do understand that for better or for worse, Korean boy bands are extremely popular in Japan right now. And maybe that's a fad that will die down a little bit later on. Difficult to say, but it doesn't really matter because the Western viewers at home are not Korean boy bands. They're not going to be able to look like a Korean boy band. I suppose you could make that a strategy, is you could look at the hair from a Korean boy band and figure out if it suits your head or not. Now, it's physically impossible with my head and a lot of Western people's head, right? That whole like split down the middle that you mentioned, that's really, I call it the Jonathan Taylor Thomas, because in the 1990s, there was an actor named Jonathan Taylor Thomas that all the girls were just super in love with. They had that exact same hair, which is one of the reasons why I think it seems like Japan is still in the 1990s, because it's like a lot of fashion and a lot of hair from the 1990s in America all of a sudden are really popular in Japan. But whatever. Okay. So if you cannot manage the Korean boy band hairstyle, well, then figure out what kind of hairstyle does work well for your head. And this is something that you can put off until a little bit later, because it's going to take 1 to 4 years for you to learn Japanese and get fit anyways. So when you go to Japan, you can start figuring out what kind of hair works for you. Just, it doesn't really matter what kind it is, just as long as you take some pride in how you're doing your hair, as long as you can figure out what looks best with your head. So that's further on down the road. So what's next? What's next is fashion. Okay. Now, I understand between this whole list, I'm asking for a lot, but once again, how bad do you want it? Japanese people in general care a lot about fashion. Japanese women care a lot about fashion. Now, here's something that I want you guys to get out of your head, though, is just because I say fashion does not necessarily mean that I mean expensive fashion. It does not need to be expensive clothing. It's not expensive clothing for the sake of showing off your money. In fact, that might be a little frowned on. What it is, though, is taking pride in your appearance. You don't have to go broke unless you're trying to get a very superficial, shallow Japanese woman. You don't need to go broke in your clothing, but you do need to put some effort into your clothing. You need to put some thought into your clothing.
それはとっても大事なポイントだとは思うんだけど、アメリカ人や西洋人の方ってもうそもそも体型が素晴らしく整っていらっしゃるので、普通にジーパンと何かを着るだけでかっこいいと思われると思う。で、さらにファッションを気にかけ始めたら最強ではないかなと思うけど、まあ、でも正直、シンプルな格好が一番かっこいいと思うよ。で、西洋の方というと、やっぱヨーロッパの方になったら、フランスの方とかはものすごくおしゃれじゃない？あそこの国もかなりファッションがすごく素晴らしいって聞いてるけど。多分他にもいろいろファッションが素晴らしい国はいろいろあると思うんだけど。まあそんなに正直私から見れば、日本で海外の方が女性をゲットしようとして、服装そこまでこだわらなくてもいいかなと思う。ただ、服を着るなら、綺麗な服を着ましょう。決してヨレヨレの服を着ないように。アメリカの方はたまにヨレヨレの服を着るのでね、使い古した服とかをよく着るでしょ。くたびれた服。あれはやめた方がいい。まあ、女性と会うなら、綺麗な服を選びましょう。清潔感が大事なので。
So as you can see, in Japan, when it comes to women, fashion does matter. So if you're normally a slob, maybe it's time to stop being a slob if you want to get a Japanese woman. Now, once again, you might be going through this list and you're saying, excuse me, Mr. Ted-san, you said fashion matters, but you are not fashionable. You said have nice hair, but you don't have nice hair. You said no Japanese, but your Japanese is trash. You said, yes, I'm aware, but I fell into a marriage with a Japanese woman. I wasn't hell-bent on being with a Japanese woman. And I'm trying to lay out for you a surefire way of dating a Japanese woman. So I can almost guarantee you, if you go through this list, if you do all the things that I tell you, you will date a Japanese woman. Okay? If you are willing to, just the mere fact that even if you just learn fluent Japanese, that already puts you at a massive advantage for everyone else who is a foreigner, who is a gaijin, who wants to date a Japanese woman. Just that alone is probably the biggest thing you can do. If you also work on your hair, if you also have good fashion, what was the other one?
Hairstyle, fashion.
Yeah.
and Japanese, learn Japanese,
Uh-huh.
and Rust.
There's one more, wasn't there?
Rust? Don't using Tinder.
Oh, we'll get to that. Even with the simple things that I've laid out, if you actually put a lot of work into it, be fit. That was the last one. The odds are so much in your favor that it's nearly impossible to go wrong. So if you actually do these things, if you want to be with a Japanese woman and you do these things, it's almost 100% chance that you're going to be able to at least date some Japanese women. For everything else, there's too many things to list. There's a large laundry list of things that women in general, not just Japanese women, but women in general are looking for in men. If you don't have these things, work on it. Okay. Some other things is you need to be confident. Okay. Women love confidence in men. Okay. Almost to the point that you can be cocky, that you can be arrogant. You don't want to quite reach the arrogant point, but okay, confidence is important. If you're not confident, well, that's something that comes with time. Another thing is they like funny guys who are funny, a good sense of humor. Okay. If you don't have a good sense of humor, work on it. Let's see what else. They like men who are respected amongst their peers. They like men that can speak in a crowd confidently and hold the attention of the crowd. I can go down the list. There's a lot of things that universally across the world women are looking for in men. Okay, women are looking for men with resources. Okay, that does not mean that women are superficial. It does not mean, at least not any more superficial than you are, Mr. I want a Japanese woman. Okay, but look, if a woman, regardless of what country she's from, okay, she wants you to have some money because should you decide to get married and should you decide to have a kid, there's going to be a period of time that she will not be able to work, at least a short period of time. And during that period of time, you need to be able to carry them financially. That's not shallow, that's just practical. Okay, so you're going to need to also make some money. You don't have to be insanely rich. You don't need to make a ton of money. Okay, but you need to have a career. You need to work at somewhere better than McDonald's. Sorry, those are the rules. And those are the rules regardless of what country you're in. So fast forward. You've spent 1 to 5 years learning Japanese. 1 to 5 years working on this whole list that I gave you. Now, this list is surefire. It's foolproof. If you do it, it's going to work. Okay, but you finally go to Japan. It's your big day. First off, okay, so you need to be able to save up. Now, a round trip ticket from America to Japan is about $1,800. Okay, now you can stay at hostels or you can stay at capsule hotels, pods. There are cheap places that you can stay. In a pinch, you might even be able to. Could someone stay at a love hotel, just them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. So I'm just trying to draw this picture. So if you're trying to have your homie, if you're trying to have your good guy friend go with you, they might look at the both of you walking into a love hotel and they're going to give you one of these. Okay. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Japan is Japan. Get over it. I don't know what else to say. Hey, I know it's not fair. I know it's not right, but you're not going to change Japan, so get over it. What I'm trying to say, though, is you're going to need, you spent years getting ready to try to date a Japanese woman in Japan. Okay, now you're going to Japan. You need to be able to spend as much time as possible in Japan. So you're going to need a pretty good chunk of change. You're going to need a good amount of money. You can stay in Japan without a visa as an American, I believe, It's either 3 months or 4 months. I don't remember. I believe it's 4 months, so 120 days. So ideally, you're going to want to have 120 days worth of money in Japan. So you're going to need $1,800 just for the round ticket. You know, if you really get creative, you can get airline tickets for cheaper. But once you're there, you're going to need to figure out how to exist as cheaply as possible. So that's going to be capsule hotels, pod hotels. That's going to be hostels. That's going to be, there's a lot of regular hotels. They're also pretty cheap too if you look for them. Okay. So you're going to need to figure out, you're going to need to budget and figure out how to stay there as cheaply as possible, because you're also going to need to be able to save some money set aside to go on dates. So where you're staying, it's going to need to be pretty cheap. Anyways, so you need to just live as cheap as possible. Like a capsule hotel is like $28 a night, maybe even cheaper if you cross your fingers, okay? $28 times 120 days is about $3,300. Okay, on top of that, you got $1,800 for the ticket. Now you're getting $5,500 or so dollars. Okay, so you're gonna need, okay, you throw in some food, okay, daily food, okay? You can, when you're not on a date, you can eat cheap, okay? Eating out of the kobinis, no, go to the grocery stores, because the grocery stores are actually cheaper. Okay, what I'm saying is you need to come up with a game plan to have a full 120 days where you do not have to worry about working and you can live cheap as possible. And the only time you're spending a sizable amount of money is when you're going on actual dates. Now, you might say, this is impossible. I can't get this much money. We're talking, I would say, worst case scenario, you're going to want about $10,000 total. 10,000. Oh, I can't do 10. You can do 10,000. Okay. If you think you can't do 10,000, you're wrong. You got 5 years to figure it out. 5 years to come up with $10,000. That's an extra $2,000 a year. Okay. You can do it. I believe in you. Don't make excuses this whole time. If you really want to get with a Japanese woman, as long as you don't make excuses, you can do it. As long as you don't let yourself get in your own way, you can do it. So you need $10,000, 120 days, 5-year plan. I believe in you. Okay, so you're there, you're in Japan, you got a cheap place, you got cheap food. What's next? Next, I would say, is dating apps. Okay, so the number one used dating app across the planet, including Japan, is Tinder. And let me tell you, Tinder is trash, but you're gonna use it anyways. So let me tell you what you're going to be facing, okay? Now, Japanese people are extremely nervous to show their face on the internet. They like to remain anonymous. They don't like to use their photo on anywhere, including dating apps. So what you're going to see is a lot of pictures of the backs of women's head. The back of their head. It's unbelievable, but it's true. Okay, maybe it's going to be the side, or maybe it's going to be the front, but the face is going to be blurred. It's going to be everything but their face. So get used to that. Okay, up next, if they don't show the back of their head or their blurred face, they're going to show you pictures of their hobbies, or pictures of animals, or pictures taken at Disneyland where maybe you can see the back of them if you're lucky. Okay. You're going to see, and this is my least favorite of all, this drives me insane. You're going to see lots of pictures of food. Now, look, I know Japanese people love food more than Americans do. Okay. They're in love with food. But when I see pictures of food on a profile, they'll even say, they might include the line, I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie. All you're telling me is the dates are going to be expensive. Okay. So I can't tell you how many profiles that I saw where it's pictures of food and 0 pictures of the woman that I'm dating. or could potentially be dating. All you're telling me is dates are going to be expensive and you have no idea what I look like.
Yeah.
I suppose if you were the most attractive Japanese woman in the world, maybe I could put up with really expensive dates at expensive, fancy restaurants, but not if I don't know what you look like. But this is going to be the Tinder experience. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. That's all I can say is good luck. No, I understand some of the mindset that I've heard is like, well, you should be dating due to personality, not because of looks. And it's like, look, okay, I need to know if I'm at all attracted to you. I had to have some idea what you look like. Yes, it is true that compatible personalities is really important, and it's true that if they're a good person with a good personality, that does matter. I still need to know what you look like.
まあアプリから、自分好みの女の子を見つけるのはすごく難しいと思うけど、みんながみんな顔を隠しているわけでもないし、私も隠してなかったでしょ？だから、なんていうかまあその中でも最近日本人同士だったとしても、食べ物しか写真載せてない、顔がはっきりしたものがないとかだったら、みんなね、弾かれる可能性があるので、そういう人はもう最近減ってきてるんじゃないかなと思います。で、よく聞くのが、なんか、顔を加工する女の子がやっぱり多いんで、日本は。さっき言ったようにルッキズムが厳しいので、そのアップした写真加工しているものが多いので、それには気をつけてください。でもそういうのって結局合わないとわからないから、まあ、顔がアップされてる写真を見て、いいなって思った子にメッセージを送って中身を知って、それから会ってみてどうかだよね、やっぱ結局ね。合わないと何もわからない。で、それでなんか、めちゃくちゃ可愛い子だ、予想通りだって思っても、ものすごい高級なレストラン行こうって言われるかもしれないし。わかんないんだよね。たまにいるからね。いやでも、さっきテッドが提案したような、なんて言うんだろう、自分を磨く、体を磨き上げて、髪型も整えて、服もちゃんとしてるなら、女の子はそんな簡単に高級な店に連れて行こうとはしないと思うよ。
Okay, so you did remind me of another category of photos that you're going to see a lot of. Okay, Japanese ladies, especially the younger ladies, use so many filters, or should I say filters so strong that they don't even look human anymore. Are you a human? Are you a human being? You don't look like one. You look like a space alien. You look like a weird bug-eyed monster. I know that might seem really rude to the Japanese at home, but sorry. But often the filters are so strong that you're like, you might as well give me no photo because I still have no idea what you look like. Certainly you don't look like that. Okay. So across the board, you are going to have to take some gambles. You are going to have to take some risks. Okay. Now, Tinder in Japan, there's a law in Japan, I believe, and I'm not sure what year it is. It's passed in the last 3 or 4 years, I believe, that says that dating apps must verify who you really are. They need to see a picture of your identification. So on Tinder is one of the few apps that actually live up to this law. So you will probably have to provide for Tinder once you get to Japan, a picture of your passport. Thankfully, they will take a picture out of your passport. I did try another Japanese dating app that asked for the same thing, and I went to go use my passport, and they said, "Yeah, I don't think so. No gaijins allowed." It might have been just the Japanese dating service might have allowed for gaijins, but maybe you needed to have like a residency card or something. They want you to actually live in Japan and not there on vacation or something, right? Okay, so what else are you gonna go? Now, here's gonna be the real challenge: is with Tinder and I think almost all of the American dating apps, they come up with a score for your rating. Tinder will give you a number for how valuable or desirable or attractive you are, and you will never be able to see that number. So here's how it works. The more of the opposite sex that swipes yes on you, the higher your score goes. Okay? And if you if you swipe yes on too many people, your score goes down because it says this person is desperate. They will date anyone. They will date this person here who is ugly. Okay. So obviously you're very low ranking. So they lower your score. So if you just go in there and just say yes, 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 yes,
No.
yes, yes, it could be, and then unmatch later, then you're going to tank your score. And once after a day or two, they like set your score in stone. You can still change it a little bit, but the first like day or two when you first make a new account, they're trying to figure out where you rank. And once they give you a ranking, it's very difficult to leave that ranking. Yeah. And if your score once your score is set and it's low, it'll only show you other people who are low. It'll only show you other low females. And you're just kind of, it's very difficult to leave that number that they give you. You have to grind and like a slow, it's actually easier to like make a whole new account, which they make very difficult to do, to reset your score than it is to change your score once you have it. So good luck, gentlemen. Because, when you're dealing with all these profiles where you cannot see what they really look like, it's tempting just to be like, well, just yes to everyone, because I don't know what they look like anyways, right? So you're gonna need to show some discernment. Okay, and here's for the gentlemen who have never used dating apps. Okay, there's a ton of spammers and scammers. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a ton of people in India. There's a ton of people in China with fake accounts. All I can say is, take a good look at yourself. Take a good look in the mirror. Okay, look at your profile pictures. Look at your profile. Ask yourself how good you really are, and give yourself a number. 1 out of 10. Where do you rank? Okay, and if you honestly land on a 5 or a 6, and all of a sudden you're getting messaged by a 10, the odds are pretty high that it's a scammer. Okay. If the woman who would never have anything to do with you is all of a sudden super interested in you, it's probably a scammer. So be aware of that. So you're not going to just want to use just one dating app, though. You're going to want to use a lot of them. Now, I dare say the best dating app in Japan for a gaijin is actually Bumble. Now, Bumble has an actual rule that says that you have to use a photo of yourself. So, Japanese ladies, no more photos of food. No more photos of Disney's the castle in Disneyland.
そんなに嫌?
Okay, you had on Bumble and a few other services, they have to use their actual photo, which is nice. But that leads me to the next problem, which is very frequently, especially if you're older, if you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, if you're an older individual, the ladies will be using 10-year-old photos or more. Now, one of my coworkers, I've actually felt this has happened to a few of my coworkers. They have looked at photos, they've matched it with the girl, and they're in Japan. They're like, oh, I'll try this dating thing. Okay. And they match with this girl, and it looks very, her profile looks good, and they're flirting a lot, and they're really having a great time chatting. They're very happy, and the guys are very excited. And they get there, and the photos that these women used might be older than 10 years old. They might be 15 years old, maybe more.
sad.
A few of these guys that I've talked to, they were so sad about this and so upset about this that they just decided they're never going to try to date in Japan ever again. Now, when I was using Bumble, there was a lot of accounts with 10 years or older photos. So just be aware of that. Maybe expect it. Maybe train your eyeballs, okay? Because like, I don't know. It took me a little while to be able to recognize a Japanese woman's age just by looking at her. But man, if you're 40 and she's near 40 and her account says she's near 40 and she looks 20, those are probably some 20-year-old photos, my guy. just expect that. Just know that. You might even want to go as far as just directly asking her. Okay, it's just how it is. Yeah.
写真を見抜くのはすごく難しいので、日本人女性の年齢を知りたいなと思ったなら、今君の写真が欲しい、今何してるかの写真を送ってくれるっていうのが一番いいかなって思います。詐欺については、まあ、いろんな詐欺があると思いますが、ロマンス詐欺、投資詐欺。まあ、日本人の顔をしているのにあまりにも流暢に英語を喋る女性には気をつけてください。それは多分ロマンス詐欺です。日本人からしてみても、日本人のロマンス詐欺は大体流暢に日本語を喋る。の割に急に日本語おかしくなったりするから。まあ日本人からしたらロマンス詐欺はすごく簡単に見抜ける。ロマンス詐欺と投資詐欺が合体したものもあって、最初ものすごく甘い言葉を囁いてくるのに急に投資の話しだしてくると、まあもちろんそれも詐欺です。まあでもそれでもたまに騙される人よく見るから、まああんまり魅力的すぎる人には本当に気をつけてください。でも大体ロマンス詐欺の特徴って、リッチで、プロフィールがリッチで、家もリッチで、すごく魅力的で、すごい、ね、胸でかかったりとかね。セクシーな体を持ってて、あと美女。スタイルが良くて美人で、金持ちは詐欺。普通、そういう人は多分、ああいうアプリ使わないと思うんだよな。それが真実。
So I've spent enough time on dating apps where I could spot a scammer from a mile away. It's like, okay, especially if within the first message they call you babe, it's over. Guaranteed. No one calls you babe on the first message. And if you do, you're like, even if they weren't scammers, you'd be like, oh, gross, stop. Oh, God. But one thing you said was really attractive people can't be trusted. And you were talking about like scam profiles. I think that's just true in general. Anyways, I don't know. I think the guys watching, they could spot a scammer pretty fast. Just learn to look out for it. You'll be able to see it. If a woman who is way out of your league is all of a sudden madly in love with you, okay, she ain't real. Sorry. That's how that works. But I have heard that recently in Japan, Japanese women have fallen to lots of dating app scams, which is sad. But let's talk about some other things to worry about. You should be working on your Tinder profile, okay? So you need some really good photos. Your first photo needs to be great. Now, if you are fluent in Japanese, you might want to go as far as putting that in your profile picture. Your profile picture in your dating app, the first one, which is a clear shot of your face with your great hair, should actually say in Japanese, I am fluent in Japanese, because that will completely change how things go forward. If a Japanese woman actually knows you're fluent in Japanese, your odds just goes through the roof. Okay? Other than that, I mean, like, you can read articles on the best type of pictures to use in dating profiles. The same rules will generally apply. So like one of them is like, they say, use a lot of photos that show some of your interests, right? So if you're really into driving fast cars, I guess Put a picture of you in front of your fast car. If you're into hunting or fishing, then show a picture of you hunting or fishing. If you're into surfing, oh, girls would love you if you're into surfing. Show a picture of you on the beach with your surfboard or a picture of you actually on a wave, you know. Generally, the idea is you want to show a woman that you have interest, that you have actual hobbies, that you do things and you're interesting. Outside of that, you know, you should have some pictures of you with your friends, although most of your photos should not be group photos. Okay? If your first picture, when I'm on a dating app and I see the first picture is a group of people, I don't know which one is you. So I assume the ugliest one is you. Okay, so if you're going to have a group photo, it should be like one of your last photos. Okay, you should have multiple photos of just you, so they know who in the world you are. The group, but you know, a group photo of you with it shows you're popular. It shows that you have friends. It shows that you're interesting. Actually put some thought into the actual words of your profile. Make sure, honestly, all you need to do is go in there and be like, this is me. I'm fluent in Japanese. The whole profile should be written in Japanese. And these are my interests, and here's where I'm from. Keep it simple. If you have some great photos, some well thought out photos, if you make it very clear that you're fluent in Japanese and your profile is written in Japanese, you're in like Flynn, baby. You're good. You're good. You're going to get the ladies. So just so you know, even though I bring up these ideals, what would be ideal would be if you became fluent in Japanese. What would be ideal is if you got really fit, blah, 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 right? The ideals may not be necessary. You might not need to become fluent in Japanese because there are women like you that know at least enough English that, you know, maybe you'll find one of those ladies. But if you really want to increase your odds, then you should probably learn as much Japanese as you can. If you're going to go as far as flying to Japan just to try to get a Japanese woman, you should really put forth as much effort as you can. Because if you don't learn any Japanese and then you save up all the money and you go to Japan, you spend 4 months in Japan, and you get no dates or the dates don't go anywhere, you're going to be real sad. You're going to be real sad. But if you put in the work of learning Japanese, if you manage to become fluent in Japanese, more than likely you will be successful.
もちろん日本語を話せた方がぐんと確率は上がるだろうね。日本は小さな島国ですが、例えばあなたが東京に住んでいたとしても、必ずしも東京だけにこだわらない方がいいかもしれない。他県に手を伸ばして探してみる方がいいかもしれない。その方がもちろん確率は上がる。やっぱりでも一番重要なのって結局、とりあえず日本に来ることと、あとは日本人とデートしよう。デーティングアップで。それでさらに日本語ができたらもうそれは大量です。
I think if a guy actually goes through all the work of becoming fluent or nearly fluent in Japanese, and he takes at least some pride in how he looks, if he puts his best foot forward, I think the odds of him not being able to get a date in Japan is extremely low. Yeah, it's extremely low. Japan does have a culture where you need to be more clear about the fact that you are dating. You need to come right out and say that we are dating. So America has more of what is often called situationships, where like people are dating a lot and there's a lot of confusion about what are we? Are we officially dating or are we not dating? We're fooling around, we're touching, but are we officially boyfriend and girlfriend? Are we committed? In Japan, you need to come right out and say, like, I like you. I want to be your boyfriend. Do you want to be my girlfriend?
日本はオフィシャルデーティングになるまでがものすごく早いから、例えばこの人 好きだって思った瞬間にもう付き合ってくださいって告白しなくちゃいけなくて、告白っていうのが彼氏になってください。違う、彼女になってくださいってお願いしなきゃいけないんだよね。アメリカや西洋の方は多分ものすごくそれが遅いはずなんだけど、日本の場合はそれものすごく早い状態で言わなきゃいけないんだよね。この子すごくいいな、気に入ったな、逃がしたくないなって思った瞬間にすぐ言わないと、その子はこの人は私と遊んでるんだって思い込んじゃって離れていっちゃうから、なるべく早めに告白するなら本当にすぐした方がいいと思う。いや、本当にそうだわ。日本人の女性はまともな人ならお付き合いから結婚に発展する考えをすぐなんていうの、一本道でその考えがあるはずだから、だから、付き合ってくださいって言われて喜ばない女性はいないし、ただ気をつけてほしいのは本当にスピードだけ。アメリカの男性は本当にこの人と結婚してもいいなと思った瞬間に付き合ってくださいって言うと思うけど、日本は、この子いいなで付き合ってください。だから、性格合いそうだな、この子すごくいいな、好きだな、で、もうお願いするから、そのタイミングだけ間違えないようにしてほしい。
So with that, gentlemen, I've already told you everything that you need to know. I've already given you the complete guidebook. Okay? If you follow my rules, you will have success. I can almost guarantee, almost 100% guarantee that if you actually put in, I mean, granted, we are talking about like 5 years worth of effort, but how bad do you want this? How bad do you want this? If you want it bad enough, you'll do the work. And if you do the work, you will have success. I believe in you. All right. So, gentlemen, please leave your thoughts down below. Please leave your questions down below. I don't know how many Japanese people would really want to watch this, but Japanese people at home also, we would love to hear from you. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. We will try to get back and reply to people if possible. All right. So with that in mind, I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.
Bye bye.